Making a competent video game movie should be way easier than this. Doom Annihilation is based on the video game series Doom, if that wasn't apparent. The short and shriveled of it is the Union Aerospace Corporation, or UAC, found an ancient portal on one of Mars's moons, Phobos. The UAC then shoves someone through the portal, and said test subject comes back all fucky. Then demons follow shortly after and proceed to paint the moon base red with anyone that moved. So it is up to our cast of E-list actors led by Amy Manson to restore power to the base before the reactor goes critical and vaporizes the moon. The filmmakers attempt to accomplish all of this on a budget lower than a 10-year-old's allowance. That is, if you can get past all of the references crammed down your throat from the games. Here are two great examples, the first occurring twice, actually. Both times, a character is zoomed in and exclaiming, "I'm their Ultra Nightmare!" If that felt blockier than Minecraft to you, that's because Ultra Violence is a difficulty setting in the latest Doom titles. The line is unwarranted and doesn't fit. Second, the lead character's name is Joan Dark, which may be a Hail Mary of a reference to Perfect Dark, whose lead character is Joanna Dark. Another issue is that game was on the Nintendo 64 at the turn of the century. As someone who adores this game as well, I would love to know if that reference is true, but the objective is to relate things to general audiences. Cramming references without context has the same impact as a pizza does on your arteries. This is an odd challenge that most filmmakers suffer when transferring source media like video games to film. One would think that given the tiny budget, the filmmakers would prioritize trimming fat instead of engorging further with issues like references or inconsistencies. Deviations are abundant scene to scene, like despite how much brutality is alleged to have occurred, the facility is spotless to the point you can eat off it like the demons hired Mr. Clean. If they did, he has a crack team because bodies disappear between shots as often as they are reusing the same stuntmen in sequence. The costumes switch from dirty to clean like the actors were thrown into an industrial laundry machine with their attire still on. During a skirmish, Joan uses a chainsaw on a zombie and gets douched with more blood than a tampon in a Sam Raimi film. Then a scene or two later, he's spotless like O.J. Simpson's permanent record. It appears most of the budget was put towards the CGI though, because the outside shots of the ship, the base, and the climax in hell honestly look solid like a video game cinematic. How is Doom so difficult to make correctly? This isn't Doom. Doom is about ripping and tearing until it is done. You play a walking irony, ravaging the demons of hell because they killed your pet rabbit. You are Wrath Incarnate, walking around the valleys of the shadow of death. You carry big guns, and whenever a demonic witness asks, "Are you interested in talking about our master and devourer Baphomet?" you then reply with a satisfying click and recoil of your boomstick because Doom Guy, the Doom Slayer, was smart enough to buy S-Mart. Never go to Mars without a double-barrel shotgun, Elon. The poor protagonist looks like she purchased a bike helmet on Cyber Monday and can't even pick up a skateboard. You expect me to believe she can lift most weapons, let alone the BFG? The BFG isn't wimpy, 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 and it doesn't look like a Super Soaker painted gray. BFG stands for Big Fucking Gun. It's hefty, hefty, hefty. Here is what their squirt gun sounds like. Pachoo! Here's what the video game versions does. That is sex right there. That is the BFG 9000, not this Chinese knockoff. I want American-made. Mars-made. You know what I mean. Doom Annihilation is an unfortunate abomination. The one accomplishment over the Rocks version is that the creatures are actual demons and not mutants. Otherwise, how do we continue to regress? I shouldn't look back at the 2005 film and think, how did things get worse? Scenes are blatantly ripped from other films with no interesting differences. The references are more forced on us than Father McCarrick. They even managed to squeeze in an anti-nuclear message. What moron claims to be in favor of green energy but doesn't understand a fucking thing thought that was a good idea? This should have been an obvious bomb since Bethesda stayed away from this film like their own fanbase stayed away from Fallout 76. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please like, share, and subscribe for more weekly reviews, and I'll see you next week.